Hi guys, it's Stock Curry, and boy, I'm excited to let you know that there is no market news today. Let me explain why that's so exciting. When you are in the middle of a market correction, generally speaking, bad news is bad, good news is bad, and no news is good. So that's the old saying, no news is good news. We don't really have any news, so I'm really hopeful that tomorrow is going to be a green day in the markets. Now, even though Monday was a red day, my portfolio was up about 7% on Monday. And the reason for that is because I took some hedge positions on Friday. When I saw that massive rise up on Friday, I was like, nope, this is a dead cat bounce. I actually posted on Twitter and Facebook about an hour before the markets closed on Friday that I thought it was going to be a dead cat bounce. And I purchased some VXX calls as well as some QQQ puts, as well as some UVXY in another portfolio where I was not able to trade options. And so what I did is I hedged out my portfolios. Now, the VXX calls, those were actually up 50% today, so I sold those. However, I am keeping my QQQ puts because I do expect that the market will continue to go down throughout the rest of this week, even though I think tomorrow may in fact be an up day. And the reason is because I think we're still in this market correction. Now, all of that said, when I look at certain segments of the market, I'm getting really excited, especially when I look at things like the EV market. EV segment of the market, it looks like it's bottomed out and it's trying to go back up. Same with a few of the high growth stocks. They look like they have bottomed out. They're trying to go back up. However, I'm a little bit cautious because we are still in a correction, which means the overall trend is still down. And so even if we go up, if we're not breaking above the 10-day EMA, we're still in a downtrend. And that's where we're at right now. We have stocks that are rising back up towards the 10-day EMA. What we don't know is, will they break above the 10-day EMA and continue to rise, or will they bounce off of that and continue to go down? And that's what we just don't know. So that's why I took advantage to sell my VIX calls today in order to lock in some profits on that. However, I am keeping my QQQ puts in order to take advantage of any further downtrends in the market. And so that's what's up. That's what I'm doing. I want to let you guys know about that. Right now, we're in this who knows what's going to happen sort of time frame. However, it does look like, and I am hopeful, that EV stocks and other high growth stocks have bottomed out and they can hopefully start going back up soon. Like I had said before, I do think that they will start going back up in June. And quite a few other people believe that as well. I think the old saying of sell in May and go away still stands. We're still in the middle of May, so, you know, we're just waiting this out, holding through, and waiting for things to turn around in June. Okay, the other thing I want to talk to you guys about is some really, actually before I get to, I've got some really cool Webull updates, but before we get to that, I want to talk about the cryptocurrency markets overall. So we saw that Bitcoin and Ethereum were absolutely crashing over the weekend. However, Bitcoin was at a critical level of support, which was the 200-day EMA, the 100-day EMA at 42,000. And I was waiting to see if Bitcoin would in fact bounce off of that and start going back up. It did. It hit 42,000. It bounced. It started to go back up. So I am hopeful that this is the bottom. However, I'm not buying any more yet because I want to see some confirmation. I don't want to buy into a dead cat bounce. And so I will be talking a little bit more about that. All of that said, the altcoins, there are quite a few altcoins that are going up. I'm going to let you guys know what those are as well. And so even though your two big ones, your Bitcoin and your Ethereum, are going down, a lot of the other altcoins, pretty much everything else is going up. So I'm pretty excited about that. Now, let me tell you about some really exciting updates with Webull. So here's what happened. A few days ago, the CEO of Webull had a Reddit AMA. AMA is Ask Me Anything. There were over 700 questions that were submitted, and the CEO did respond to quite a few of those questions. So based upon the responses to the questions that were asked, we have a couple of things I want to highlight and point out. Keep in mind that being the CEO, he's not going to go out and definitively say yes to anything. However, when he makes remarks and comments such as stay tuned or we're working on it, things like that, you pretty much know these things are going to come eventually. We just don't know the timing. So here is what is in the pipeline with Webull. Number one, fractional share trading. Webull plans to roll out fractional share trading. To that question, he actually said, stay tuned. It looks like they're working on it. I cannot wait to see this roll out. I'm very excited about that. The second thing is a lot of people have been asking about new cryptocurrencies on Webull, and I am happy to announce that they are now up to 8 cryptocurrencies that you can trade, and they continue to add more, and they plan to continue adding more all the time. So the 8 cryptocurrencies that Webull currently has include Bitcoin, BTC, Ethereum, ETH, Dogecoin, DOGE, Stellar, XLM, Litecoin, LTC, Bitcoin Cash, BCH, Zcash, ZEC, and Dash, DASH. There's no words as to what they're going to add next. However, they do have chart support for ETC, which is Ethereum Classic, so I would not be surprised to see that one added next. Quite a few people asked about Cardano, ADA. However, he refused to answer any questions about Cardano specifically, so that one we just don't know. I am going to reach out to Webull, to my influencer contact over there, and see if we can get that one added. We'll see. The third thing I want to talk to you about with Webull, and this is really exciting. I've never seen a broker do this before, but Webull is looking into allowing us to withdraw our crypto into a wallet, an external wallet. So that is really exciting news. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that just because there are some legal concerns, especially in the United States where most of Webull's customers are. The United States is very against cryptos. In fact, it's flat out banned in New York. So it's really hard to say if they're going to be able to overcome a lot of the legal and regulatory hurdles. However, they are looking into it. So I think if they're able to add that, that would be another really exciting feature for Webull. So all of that said, there's a lot of great things for Webull coming down the line. By the way, they already do pre-market and after-hour trading starting at 4 a.m. on Eastern time and going all the way out until, about 6 p.m. Eastern. So, sorry, 8 p.m. Eastern. And so you get the full trading from the very opening in the pre-market all the way to the very closing after hours. If you guys don't have access to the full pre-market after hours trading, if you guys aren't able to trade your cryptos, all that stuff, I really recommend you check out Webull. Even if you have another broker right now, you can deposit $100 on Webull and get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,850. There's nothing wrong with having multiple brokers. In fact, I have, 4 brokers that I use myself. And so if you're interested in that, there's a link in the description of this video. If you go down to the description of this video, I have a link for Webull. When you use my link to sign up and deposit just $100, Webull is going to give you 2 free stocks worth up to $1,850. Now, I know a lot of you guys are not in the United States. If you're not a U.S. resident, then I recommend Interactive Brokers. Interactive Brokers also allows you to do the full pre-market and after-hours trading, as well as fractional share trading and options and all that stuff. The platform on the phone is just as easy to use as Webull. The desktop app is highly complicated. But if you're just looking to trade on your phone, then Interactive Brokers is excellent. And so for all of my non-US residents, I do recommend Interactive Brokers. I also have a link to Interactive Brokers in the description as well. And with that link, you can get up to $1,000 in free stock with Interactive Brokers. All right, let's get into the stock and crypto picks for today. For those of you guys who are new to this channel, my name is Stock Curry. I used to work as an analyst for some large investment banks, and now I analyze stock picks from the top 10 YouTubers. I give you both the cliff notes from the top 10 YouTubers as well as my analysis on their stock picks. If anything I talk about today piques your interest, make sure you listen to who I say talked about that stock, and then go watch their channel to get the full details on what they said. Now, all I ask for putting all of this together for you guys is that you hit that like button, subscribe, and click the bell icon so that you can get notified when I release my next video. In fact, I'll give you 5 seconds to do that right now. All Alright, before we get into today's stock picks, I just want to remind everyone that I am not a financial advisor and none of the YouTubers I follow are financial advisors either. Today's video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who are wondering, you are currently looking at the Webull desktop app. Webull is the app that I use for my trading, and it is also the app that I use in all of my videos. Alright, let's get into today's stock picks. First up is Bitcoin. This is BTC. StockMo showed us a tweet that came out Sunday night where Elon Musk suggested that Tesla may have sold their remaining BTC. That put more downward pressure on BTC. For now, BTC is holding the $42,000 support level. This is either an incredible discount and a huge opportunity to load up on BTC, or it is the start of a much larger crash. Personally, I would not be comfortable buying more BTC until we see it get back above $47,000, which I think will be confirmation of a rebound. Next up is Ethereum ETH. Ethereum did drop well below the 21-day EMA. However, it has started to go back up and is now back above the 21-day EMA for now. So we'll have to watch this over the next few days to see if it can maintain this upward momentum or if it's going to continue to fall back down to my buy-under level of $2,500. Next up is DOGE. This is Dogecoin. StockMo showed us how DOGE is holding up compared to the sell-off in BTC and ETH. And that is true of many altcoins, including not only DOGE, but also ADA, XRP, XLM, MATIC, and others. Next up is AMC. This is AMC Movie Theaters. Tom Nash thinks AMC is overvalued, mostly due to hype right now. Specifically, he pointed to the fact that earnings were not great and AMC does not expect to return to pre-pandemic revenues until 2023. Now, Tom Nash considered different growth rates for AMC of 10%, 15%, and 20%. The 20% growth rate is the only one where AMC is undervalued slightly by about 5%. In the other scenarios, AMC is overvalued. Now, when determining future growth, Tom Nash made the assumption that people would not return to cinemas because they would rather stay home and watch streaming services. There is some truth to that, but I think Tom Nash is undervaluing people's desires to get back out and enjoy things opening up again, including the big screen. Also, if we look at earnings over the past 3 quarters, and I'll just use earnings per share or EPS to keep things simple, we can see how AMC has been improving and getting closer and closer to profitability every quarter, going from negative 8.41 in Q3 to negative 6.20 in Q4 to negative 1.42 in Q1 of this year. However, I do want to point out that even before the pandemic, AMC was struggling to remain profitable. And going back to the quarterly reports, we can see some serious concern in the fact that revenue dropped from Q4 2020 to Q1 2021. That is not what you want to see in a company that is rapidly reopening theaters. And in fact, AMC's growth in earnings is due not to a growth in revenue, but rather a significant reduction in expenses. If we look at the total operating expenses, we can see that they dropped from $1 billion in Q4 2020 down to $563 million in Q1 of 2021. That means expenses dropped nearly in half in just 1 quarter. That's a good thing. Even if AMC struggles to grow revenues, if they can keep expenses low, they might become profitable even with significantly lower revenue than they had in 2019. Now, Tom Nash did attempt to capture this by looking at EBITDA. When Tom Nash did his calculations, he used the pre-pandemic EBITDA of $700 million. But I personally think that because of significantly lower expenses, AMC's 2023 EBITDA could be much higher than $700 million. And if it is, that could mean that AMC is actually undervalued. Now, I was never a senior financial analyst like Tom Nash was, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. If there's anything I learned during my years in investment banking, it's that you can have 10 different people formulate 10 different opinions using the same financial data, and they could all be wrong. So you'll just have to do your own due diligence and make up your own mind on the fundamentals of AMC and what that means for the future of this stock. All of that said, let's take a look at the technicals real fast. AMC is currently at a strong resistance level of around $14.40. It did break above $14.40 after hours on Monday, but I wouldn't look into after hours prices too much because low volume can result in high manipulation. However, if AMC is able to open above $14.40 on Monday, then I think it has a strong chance to reach new 52-week highs. And it will also be free to short squeeze if in fact a short squeeze were to happen. Smart Trader said the same thing and took it a step further, saying that an AMC short squeeze could trigger short squeezes in stocks all across the market. He pointed to how when GME short squeezed, it triggered short squeezes on a wide variety of stocks including AMC, KOSS, BB, and others. He also said that a true short squeeze would not happen until AMC gets above $20. Just keep in mind that I personally sold my short squeeze stock potentials because I saw shorts covering these stocks starting last week. So I think shorts are well aware of the risks of upcoming short squeezes, and they are starting to cover so that they don't get squeezed. So I think if we do get market-wide short squeezes this time, it won't be to the same level that we saw back in January. Next up is DIS. This is Disney. Keenan Grace called DIS one of the biggest sales on the market right now. His reasoning is not only the recent drop in price, but also the fact that DIS is increasing capacity at its parks and making masks optional outdoors. However, I still think DIS is overvalued. The forward PE is still quite high at 87.24. And on the monthly chart, we can see that DIS has a history of dropping down to just above the 50-month EMA. The 50-month EMA closed Monday at $130. And on the weekly chart, we can see that DIS has a history of dropping down to the 100-week EMA. The 100-week EMA closed Monday at around $130. Now back to the daily chart, DIS is still dropping, but it is oversold on the RSI. So as a short-term play, I like DIS if you buy in for around $165 and then have a price target to sell at around $175. Long-term, I would like to see DIS drop some more to around $150 before buying in. Next up is NIO. This is NIO, and they're a Chinese EV manufacturer. StockMo thinks NIO has bottomed out and will not drop below $31 again. He did buy some NIO in his viewer's choice portfolio today. Technically, NIO is looking bullish with candles rising, the RSI rising, and the MACD rising. However, we'll have to see if NIO can close above the 10-day EMA and the previous support level of $35 before I would be comfortable saying that NIO has bottomed out and is rebounding. Once NIO does start closing above $35 support level consistently, I think we'll be free to run up to between $60 and $70, which is about a 100% gain over the next year. Next up is SESN. This is Sensen Bio. They're a pharmaceutical company focused on cancer treatment, not to be confused with SENS. The traveling trader let us know that SESN has a FDA drug approval deadline coming up on August 18th. The FDA could issue approval anytime between now and August 18th. If their drug is approved, that could be a significant upward catalyst for SESN. How big of a catalyst? Well, TipRanks has the average analyst price target at $7.50 if they get FDA approval. And the two analyst price targets that is based upon were both reiterated this past week. So if SESN gets FDA approval, you could potentially triple your money over the course of the next year. Now, the traveling trader went into much more detail than I have time to cover in this video. So if you want to know more about SESN, then I recommend you go watch the traveling trader's video that he uploaded Monday. Next up is T. This is AT&T, and look at the wild ride it had on Monday. AT&T initially opened up significantly after it was announced that they were looking to merge with Discovery. However, it then crashed. Chris Zane let us know that T decided to cut their dividend by 50% in order to merge with Discovery, ticker symbol DISCA. That brings the dividend yield down to a little over 3%. And as you can see on the chart, when that was announced, T sold off sharply. Chris Zane also sold T and is now out of the play. He said the dividend yield no longer makes T worth holding in his dividend portfolio. He is currently just holding onto the cash and looking for another play to buy into. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video and get a lot out of it. Remember, if you want to get some free stocks, sign up for Webull using my link in the description below. When you sign up and deposit just $100, Webull's going to give you 2 free stocks worth up to $1,850. They're also going to give me 1 free stock, so it helps you out and it also helps the channel out. Finally, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, click the bell icon, and click all in case you haven't already. I hope you have a lot of success trading, and I will see you tomorrow.